Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earle Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earle Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earle Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union, and by Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm Insurance.
Plus, Diane Kimbrough, Lady Di, your insurance PI. Also by Dive Shop and Diventures nationwide. Jim Karras Chevrolet with George Gully. Napa Cafe Memphis and Glenda Hastings. Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. For Memphis Magazine. The Live at the Garden Concert Series. And the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel, with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earle Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome into Lansky's at the Peabody Hotel downtown. And joining me today is Alicia Dean with Graceland Enterprises. And welcome to the show. Your big week is coming up in about 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be here really soon. Elvis Week is August 8th through the 16th. So several days of celebration of the life and legacy of Elvis Presley.
And the thing, went to the very first one after I moved here in 1978, January, and then his birthday. And we went out there, and there were people showed up for that. And so they were wondering, how many people do you think are going to show up for the first anniversary of his death? And nobody knew. And
right, yeah.
The thousands. And they've not ever stopped.
Right. They just keep coming.
They really do. And the thing that I think is most amazing to me is these are kids that were born now that are coming there on their own. They're not coming with their parents. They're coming on their own. And they weren't even born when he died.
Oh, absolutely. There's such a massive growth of Elvis fans that's, taken place, over the years, but also the big surge came from the Baz Luhrmann film that came out in, I think it was 2022, I believe, with Austin Butler. The Elvis movie really had a massive impact on this younger generation, and we're seeing it. We're seeing these kids, come to Graceland and come to Elvis Week and come to our performing arts camp that we just had, just a couple weeks ago here in Memphis. But, to see the younger generation fall in love with Elvis is truly something that amazes me every single day. And I've been watching this, happen for, 18 years at this point, and it still amazes me.
Well, also, Liz, I think that the movies, people still watch those. I do because they're so innocent. I mean,
sure, yeah.
And it's like he meets somebody, he goes, well, we better not get around here because we're at the motel, and and then the music's still viable. I mean, the music is just as good today as when it came out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talk about a song like Suspicious Minds. You could play it on the radio today and think that it came out yesterday. That's what's so great about, Elvis and his music and his legacy and the movies. I mean, you can literally play them, and that's what really brings, again, the younger generation, but also brings that nostalgia. And I like to tell people that, Elvis is like a family heirloom. You see him passed down from generation to generation, and that is, I think it has a lot to do with nostalgia. You see people traveling, these days, and they're looking to grasp on to like a simpler time, and that's what Elvis definitely represents.
Well, and the thing about it is he's still so amazing, and the story is amazing, and that's never going to change. And when you see him, and this goes all the way back when he first went to New York, he didn't look like anybody else, especially in those times, because nobody had braces back then. Nobody had, skin care and hair care. He just was, and you hear men say this all the time, he's the most beautiful person anybody ever saw.
Oh, yeah, the famous tagline is, women wanted him and men wanted to be him. So I still think that's probably applicable today.
Absolutely. And but it also transcends generations. I mean, he was just an amazing, amazing person. And I think a lot of people in Memphis, because all the people that were here then, many of them still are, but you had Jerry Lee here, you had, Johnny Cash, just all these people that were so viable and such a big part of the music industry. But here was this guy that was different from all of them, and none of them were like him.
Oh, absolutely. And they knew they couldn't touch him either. And I mean, it's such a beautiful, like you said, it's a beautiful story. And I mean, you know, there's so many different facets about Elvis's life that, you know, everybody knows, you know, blue suede shoes. Everybody knows rock and roll. Everybody knows, you know, most of the movies. But there's a lot of things that people don't know about Elvis. So when they come to Graceland, they learn, and that's what makes them fall in love with Elvis even more. And I would say probably that number one thing that people learn is how charitable he was. And people just kind of can't believe it that he just gave so much away. He gave away, I mean, money to dozens, I mean, charities, even locally. You know, Elvis would write $1,000 checks to, you know, local charities all in the same day. Gave away cars. I mean, if you complimented him, he would, you know, probably give you the ring off his finger. So he was a very charitable person, and that's something that people, you know, relate to.
Well, I've read that was what he loved, to see people react to him being kind to them, that was his heart.
Right.
It wasn't doing it for publicity.
Right.
He actually got the biggest thrill out of, you know, making people happy.
Exactly. And, you know, again, people latch on to him. It's like, it doesn't matter whatever medium you tend to discover Elvis on. You find somewhat of a thing that you can relate to, no matter if you like the movies or if you like music. I mean, even if you love karate, well, guess what? So did Elvis. If you liked football, so did Elvis. There's so many different, you know, unique things about, you know, the man Elvis Presley that, you know, people tend to, you know, fall upon and relate to, and I think that's another thing that draws people in. And, you know, again, coming to tour Graceland, that's such a massive thing when you think about, you know, all of the, you know, I guess famous deceased celebrities, you know, and that musicians, you know, that like people go, okay, well, yeah, Prince, you know, he has his place in, you know, Minnesota, but you don't really see that like fandom growing the way that the Elvis fans do. And so it's just something about Elvis. There's so many things we could talk about, but there's just something about him.
Always has been and always will be. We were talking before we came on, you've been at Graceland 18 years now. You came on and you thought you'd be there for a couple of months.
Yeah, I've been there 18 years. It was back in June. I started as an intern in June of 2007. So I had just graduated down at Ole Miss. I moved back to Memphis because I'm born and raised here, and took an internship and thought, okay, I'm only supposed to be here through September, and here I am 18 years later.
Were you an Elvis fan?
No.
So you knew who he was.
Well, I mean, okay, so my mom is a huge Elvis fan.
Right.
Huge Elvis fan, and she would actually bring us to Graceland on her birthday every single year. And I remember as a child being like, oh, Mom, like, please stop. Like, okay, we'll go, but, like, you know, we've been over and over. And, you know, karma's funny, you know, because here I am. But yeah, no, I really wasn't a huge Elvis fan. It's not like, you know, I turned on Elvis tunes or anything. My mom did, but no, it's actually a perfect fit because, you know, I'm an appreciator, and when we talk about the Elvis fans, you know, we kind of put them into a pyramid, and we put the massive Elvis fans at the top. We put what we call appreciators in the middle, and then everybody else at the bottom. And I'm definitely in that appreciator category. So.
It's interesting because I'd always liked Elvis, and I remember the first song I ever heard was Hound Dog, and a guy was working on his car in the alley, and he had a transistor radio. He said, "You hear that, son? That's Elvis Presley. He's going to be big." And I went home and I told my mother, I said, "Elvis is going to be big." She goes, "How do you know about Elvis?" The guy down the street.
He was controversial. He was controversial.
Very much so back then. Just everything about it was controversial, but then I come to Memphis, and that's, you know, I knew he lived here. I knew he just died. But I didn't know nearly what I do now because after covering it for all these years, and I've interviewed everybody that knew him. Right. And I think to that end, I've never met one person to say one bad thing about Elvis, which is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And that again, just speaks to who he is and who he still is. I mean, again, people like to rewrite history, you know, and again, our memories, you know, change and stories change throughout the years, but none of them shift negatively. No. And that's such a reassuring thing. And honestly, that's what has made up for, you know, the fan base that keeps growing, for us to grow as a company and a campus even, because I mean, we've expanded so much just in the past, you know, 10 years.
I remember when I first started going there, the shopping center across the street, which is now the welcoming center and where you go get on the buses to take the tours. And it was just a regular shopping strip. It had a vacuum cleaner store, it had a laundry, and just your average neighborhood shopping center.
Right.
And then to slowly watch it change, because at first the independents were going in and doing, and then Graceland said, "This is getting really junky looking. We need to do something about it." And that's when they went and bought the shopping center itself. Then they moved the Lisa Marie here. Then and then they completely redid that whole thing a few years ago. What, 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2017 when we opened Elvis Presley's Memphis, our entertainment complex. That is genuinely, it's a full city block. It's massive. I mean, we have so many exhibit spaces, and our Graceland soundstage is there, and it's such an incredible space. We use it for all sorts of events, especially Elvis Week. But when it's not being used during Elvis Week, we actually have a lot of concerts. Our Graceland Live calendar is full of different, performers and artists that come, I mean, literally booked in through Live Nation. So, we have a huge schedule. Like Ryan Adams is going to be here August 1st. I mean, the list goes on with how many acts, and, it's such a great thing for Memphis. Again, I remember when we first started talking about this concept years ago, and I'm going, gosh, I really don't know if this is going to work. And lo and behold, it's worked. I mean, we're still, getting the word out to locals and Memphians alike. But, I think it's such a great opportunity for people to come out, see a show, and see what we have to offer. Because, I mean, I can, name probably 5 people off the top of my head who would go, I've never been to Graceland still. It's a Memphian badge of honor to a point. But I want to change that. So I think that we just have such a unique thing to offer Memphians.
Robin and Beth have not been. And
well,
so
there's 1 and 2. There we go.
Beth has been. Yeah. She's been a bunch of times. Rob is a neophyte, so he's been to the guest house, but I'll get him on the tour.
There you go.
And get him a tour. And the people that are coming to the show place, the theater, I love some of the groups you've had in.
Yeah.
And I think they love coming to play Graceland.
Oh, absolutely. They get so excited. And we even have a section in our exhibit area called Icons, which is the influence of Elvis Presley. When you think about artists and musicians who, have grown over the years, we have them on display. A lot of them have loaned their personal items to be featured in this exhibit space because Elvis did influence them. If it wasn't for Elvis, they wouldn't be who they are today. So Trisha Yearwood, huge Elvis fan. She's represented in the museum. Justin Timberlake represented in the museum, and even Kiss represented in there. So, I mean, the list goes on and on. So, I mean, most musicians are huge Elvis fans, and you can see why.
Well, and it's for a good reason.
Right.
I mean, he didn't just fall off some potato wagon coming into town.
Right.
I mean, the guy had an amazing talent, and it was just really sad that he's now been gone longer than he was alive.
Right.
Isn't that amazing?
Right. It is. It's really incredible. And again, to see people still coming from all over the world, I mean, I'm telling you, it blows my mind every single day. And it blows my mind that, I get to do this as a job, as a career, for a man I never met.
Yeah.
But to carry on such a legacy and to have a legacy not only, in Memphis, but globally. I mean, just the global impact of Elvis Presley today in 2025 it's mind-blowing. It really is.
Well, if you think about all the things Memphis is known for, FedEx, St. Jude.
Right.
But the one thing that everybody says when you say I'm from Memphis, Elvis Presley.
Absolutely.
It's the very first thing that comes out of their
Absolutely.
mouth. And a lot of people will be saying going to Memphis, to Graceland, and flying here, driving here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading today on the Graceland, Elvis Presley Graceland's Facebook page that some things you got to be aware of is on the 15th, they're going to block the roads on Elvis Presley coming from both directions.
Right.
And so should people be aware of that, I think, especially because of parking. They're going to have to figure out where to park.
Yeah, it's a great reason to block the street. It's for the Candlelight Vigil. It really is the cornerstone event of Elvis Week. We celebrate the life and legacy of Elvis Presley on the night of August 15th, which essentially, again, the boulevard does get shut down because fans, their tradition, and this started because of the fans, the tradition is that they, line the streets and they line up and they have their candles and we have a small ceremony and then fans walk up the driveway and pay their respects to Elvis at the Meditation Garden all night long. And so this last until wee hours of the morning
Until
on
everybody's been
August
through.
16th, the day he actually passed. So yeah, we do block off the streets, for the fans, and have obviously safety protocols and everything like that. So
And to that point, people should bring water. There will be water available there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's first aid stations
Yeah.
there. But it is going to be hot. It's hot now.
I know.
It's hot every August.
I'm hoping that the weather changes, but it's August, it's always hot, so be prepared.
Of course, the tribute is when they first started coming. Graceland wasn't big on the tribute. In fact, they wouldn't let have any of that activity take place on the campus.
Right.
And then they figured out, these people love the tribute artist. They don't think he's Elvis. They're Elvis.
Right.
But they love seeing people that come close. Because just for a brief moment, you look at him and go, that's almost just like him.
Right, yeah. The Elvis tribute artist world is fascinating. We started working with the tribute artists and started holding our Elvis tribute artist contest back in 2007. So right when I first started, and we actually used to hold the contest at different locations around the city. It was at the Orpheum a couple years. It was at the Cannon Center a couple years. But it's fascinating because, again, these guys, they have to win a preliminary contest that take place honestly all over the world.
Yeah.
We have them in the UK, we have them in Australia, Canada, and definitely in the US. And these guys, they come and they compete to win the title. And so again, it's just so fascinating to see again that there's, number one, so many guys who are out there still competing. I mean, again, we're in 2025 and we've had however many winners that is in all of these years, and then people are still coming. They're still competing. They're still wanting to pay that's how they want to pay their
really
respects and their honor to Elvis. So it really is. The events are so popular. I mean, they are so popular. Those tickets sell so fast, and that's why I'm I definitely encourage locals to go check it out. I promise you'll never see anything else like it, and I promise you'll love it. It's highly entertaining, and any event is awesome, but the tribute artist events are really, really fascinating and fun.
And to the candlelight vigil, I was talking to somebody just the other day, and he said that he had never been to Graceland for any of the Elvis events, but he went last year before it. And he said, I was standing up in Graceland up by the mansion and saw that long line of people coming up to the graveside.
Sure.
And he said, I started crying.
Yeah.
It is very moving.
Yeah, it is. It's very, it's very emotional. I mean, and you see, again, I think it's because you see all sorts of people. You see, young people, old people, and you see people, again, from all over the world, but also you get emotional because you're going through and you are learning about his life kind of in order. You were learning about, his career in order, and then it's all of a sudden you kind of get hit at the end of and this is where he is, and this is where he's laid to rest. And so it's a very emotional journey for a lot of people.
And I think a lot of people, especially the first time they come here, but then I've seen people that have been here 20 times.
Oh, yeah.
And they still, it impacts them just as much because he impacted them.
Right.
And he impacted everybody in a different way.
Oh, listen, I'll take it a step farther and tell you that I know fans who have been so impacted by Elvis and Graceland that they have uprooted their lives and they've moved to Memphis.
Wow.
They have genuinely gone, I love it so much and I love this place so much that they chose to move to Memphis to be closer to Graceland. True story.
Is amazing. Let's talk about some of the other things that will be going on the week of the 16th and back. Does it start on the Monday before that?
It starts on the Friday, so August 8th is the first day. So
Okay.
the first couple days we have our Elvis tribute artist events. We've got the contest. We've got a couple shows. And so it's always a lot of fun, again, to see these guys compete, but also perform. So we bring back a lot of the previous winners to perform throughout the weekend. And then, again, we go into the rest of the week with all sorts of different activities, right? So we have Jerry Schilling, who you know and met. He's actually going to be back, and he's participating in a few of our events. And what's really going to be interesting is we've started doing these late night mansion tours with special guests. And so Jerry is doing a few late night mansion tours, but him and Linda Thompson are actually doing a special tour inside the mansion one night. So, I mean, we try to do really unique and different things. I mean, we have similar events that happen year after year, like our Conversations on Elvis event, which Jerry is also a part of. And we bring in a lot of different people to speak on that event. Brenda Lee is actually going to be here. We've been wanting her for years, and I'm so excited to have Brenda Lee with us. And there's just a whole list, a cast of characters that'll be on that event. But we try to do different things to, keep the fans happy, and then to introduce people who've never been to Elvis Week before in new and different ways.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a young man from Australia that came in, and I looked over, I saw him talking to Hal, and I said, that guy kind of looks like Elvis. It turned out he was a tribute artist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he was on his way to Tupelo. They were
the Tupelo Elvis Festival. Mm-hmm.
And came up, and Ron Olson, Karen Perrin were here right where you were.
Yeah.
And, he had a wireless on him, and they said, "We'll sing a couple of bars." He did like 2 notes, and Olson goes, "Year of the Winter." Do that a cappella.
I'm telling you, like the amazing talent that I've seen come through, and again, what we really aimed to do back in 2007 when we started the Elvis Tribute Artist Contest is to erase the negativity around Elvis impersonators. It was such like a negative connotation around it, and because we were like, there's so many talented guys that don't deserve to be, treated like this, truly. And so we decided, okay, well, we're going to change the name. So we call them Elvis Tribute Artists because that's exactly what they are. And, have really created a top-notch and extremely classy contest and continue to, foster those relationships with these great entertainers. And it also gives them opportunities. I mean, look, we get asked all the time, like, hey, do you guys have like an Elvis tribute artist that we could use? We get them for all sorts of things, corporate events. I mean, when Southwest announced that they were going to be coming to Memphis, the airport got with us, and we had an Elvis tribute artist out there, like bringing in the first like Southwest flight. So I mean, like these guys get asked to do things all over the world. That's the other thing. That's like there is no shortage of work. Yeah, there's no shortage of work for these guys, and there's so many of them.
I interviewed a guy. This was 10, 12 years ago, and he was an early Elvis tribute artist, and we interviewed him at the Levitt Show, and I'm sitting there looking at this guy, and I'm standing closer than I am to you interviewing him, and it was so weird because he looked just like him at that age.
Yeah.
You keep going, it's like it's an illusion almost.
Right.
And then some of them sing just amazingly sound like him. But you never see anybody that has the moves, the looks, and the voice.
Right.
Which is the miracle about him. He had all that.
Exactly. And it's the charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, Elvis just had this charisma and this aura around him, and I think that's what genuinely, just drew people to him. And he couldn't help it. I mean, that's just who he was. But that's part of, I think, what, people are still grasping onto today, which is wild because, again, he's been gone for almost 48 years.
But there's still so much video of him. And they had that thing they did at the FedEx Forum a couple of years ago, and they had the backup singers, Norbert Putnam, who was a studio bass player, and all these people that were actually performed with Elvis.
Right.
And then he was on the big screens on both sides of the stage, so you really felt like you were at an Elvis concert, which I never went to.
Yeah.
And but the amazing thing is you really felt that. But there was one scene in Vegas, I think right after he had come back after the leather show, the comeback show where he was all dressed in black leather, and he didn't look any better than that the rest of his life.
Right.
And then he goes to Vegas, and he comes down in that white jumpsuit and just stops and looks at the crowd and goes, "What are y'all looking at?" Well, everybody was looking. We're looking at you, man. Nobody looks like that. And he knew that.
Oh, he knew. He knew.
And he poked as much fun at himself as he did.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was just an amazing story. Some other things and they do need to buy tickets now for the tribute events.
Oh yeah, everything for Elvis Week is on sale, and I mean, again, the tickets they will go fast because leading up to, I think there's a lot of people who kind of wait and see like which events they're going to go to when they're going to travel in, and so there's still some tickets available. But the show that you mentioned that was at the FedEx Forum, we still continue to do those screen shows. So we actually have one during Elvis Week that'll be very similar. with Elvis on the big screen and a live band playing.
I'm
playing
telling
to
you,
Elvis
go
vocals.
see that. It is like being at an Elvis. If you never went to an Elvis concert, it is so amazing because it's live music and his voice. And
you know who produces it? Is
No.
Andy Childs.
Oh, really?
Sure does.
All
Yep.
right.
So Andy Childs, he's fantastic. He's been working on our Elvis events for years. And so he does an incredible job with his band, which is called Six Wire, and they play all over the world. And so they're doing a show here for us, which is going to be really
we were
great.
Trying to get with him to come on. We're going to be there on the 15th at the guest house.
Yep.
And so it just does get bigger and bigger every year. And I think because this is a story that's not going to go away. We know that now. This is not going away.
Right.
And I think it's going to take on another life of its own too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, there's things that pop up all the time that are just kind of organic that we don't even really push in the sense of it's not our idea. Like the new Lilo and Stitch movie that came out, a couple of months ago. That just pushed another influx of Elvis fans because of having Elvis represented in the movie and the Elvis music. So, it's things like that keep Elvis relevant in pop culture and just keep bringing people to Graceland and, new younger fans, especially discovering him.
Well, and places like the place we're in right now, Lansky's.
Right.
I mean, they're selling clothes that Elvis wore when he was just starting out.
Right.
And they have reinvented a lot of those, and I'm wearing one right now.
I mean,
You've
look, I had to wear my jacket. This is one of my favorite places to be, and genuinely, I'm going to say it on air because you were the smartest man who's ever come up with a podcast idea, and I'm genuinely mad that I didn't come up with this idea. It's absolutely brilliant to have this amazing podcast in Lansky's. It genuinely is. And I mean, I'm going, how often can I come back here? Like, can I get a monthly segment?
Well,
it's really great.
It has been great. We've done 25 shows now, Rob?
This is 25.
This is number 25.
Hey, okay.
And you come here, and it's not just Lansky's. You're inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel.
Exactly.
Walking in the doors every time you go, man, it just feels great walking into the Peabody.
Oh, my gosh, of course.
You come in here, you see all these pictures of the Lansky's and Elvis throughout his life. And you really do feel a connection.
Yeah, it's a massive piece of Memphis history. And that's what I've learned about Elvis fans traveling in from all parts of the world is that they love coming to Graceland, but they love Memphis.
Yeah.
They love coming down here to Lansky's. They love coming to the Peabody. They love going to eat barbecue. Like, I mean, again, telling you that people have moved here. I know, young fans who have bought condos and rented out as Airbnbs that are like themed Elvis. I mean, it's just so fascinating to see all these fans who come and they love Memphis. They love being here and treat it as their home. So again, Memphis has a bigger impact on the world that I think Memphians realize.
I agree.
That's like my, I want to tell that to every single person who lives here and goes, just keep giving Memphis a chance, and if you love Memphis, it'll love you back. So,
well, that's why we're doing the show here.
Exactly.
The stories do need to be told.
Absolutely.
People do love Memphis, and a lot of great things are still going on here, and we'll continue to do so.
Absolutely.
So we will keep telling the Elvis story and keep having you back. So
thank you. I hope so. It'll keep me employed.
I will keep you employed. I don't think you have a thing to worry about. Well, we'll see you on the 15th. We'll be at the guest house. I hope you stop by and
that'll be a busy day, but it's a great day to be out at Graceland. Yeah, I definitely, for anybody listening locally, you have to come to the Candlelight Vigil. If you don't go to anything else, just go to the Candlelight Vigil if you've never been. It's truly an event that I really can't put into words. It's really kind of breathtaking, and you kind of have to experience it for yourself to really know what it's about.
Do you have to bring your own candle, or do they have them there?
No, we provide them.
All right.
You can bring your own if you want, but we provide those too.
All right. Well, Alyssa, thank you very much for coming in. Always good seeing you.
Thank you so much.
Keep taking care of business.
Oh, thank you. I will.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. Then Randy Wright with the Dive Shop's got some cool places to submerge in this hot weather. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union. We're the proud title sponsor of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show. Coming to you live from Lansky's in the world-famous Peabody Hotel and celebrating all of the great things about our great city, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm so proud to be part of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show, streaming live from Lansky's from the Peabody. We will be showcasing not only Napa Cafe, but some great restaurants around town. We look forward to seeing you.
Hi, everyone. It's Diane Kimbrough, Lady Di, your insurance PI. And I'm here to tell you about the new podcast that Earle Farrell from Memphis is doing. And we're doing it downtown live from the Peabody, which is behind me and next to the Rendezvous. And we're going to be talking all things Memphis, but we're also going to be talking about health insurance because that applies to everyone. And I can help you in every area. So I look forward to you listening to us and learning more about what we can do for you in Memphis and how I can help you with your health.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earle Farrell Memphis today. And we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Carrey Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25. And I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching Earle and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm, and I'm so excited to be one of the sponsors for the Earle Farrell from Memphis show, broadcasting live from Lansky's at the Peabody. And I'll tell you all about what we've got going on at our office. Gift cards for quotes. No purchase necessary. I'm better looking than a lizard.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Diventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Diventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earle Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
Hi, my name is Jameson Todd, and I'm the director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater. And we're so excited for our 25th year of Live at the Garden here at the Memphis Botanic Garden. We've got a great lineup for you this season, so come on out.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall, Director of Marketing and Communications for Memphis Botanic Garden and Live at the Garden. We've had Earle Farrell right along the way for the past 25 years, and we can't wait to talk more about the season this summer on the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
So come out to Live at the Garden. Our first show is on June 21st.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright. And I'm his son, Mickey. And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earle Farrell from Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hey, my name is Jake. I'm with Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of what I do here at Phoenix. I'm a sales engineer. A lot of the times we talk about home theaters, but there's so much more that we offer. We offer a lot of home security solutions, as well as water detection and everything. So if you guys ever need anything, give us a call. We'll get you guys fixed up.
And welcome back, everybody. Joining me now is Randy Wright with Diventures International and the Dive Shop here in Memphis. And it is National Shark Week,
It
if
is.
I'm not mistaken.
I think it's International Shark Week.
International Shark
everything's
Week.
about sharks. Yeah.
Which, in fact, Alyssa, who was just here, was saying, we introduced her to Randy and said, and she said, I've never been diving before. She said, it freaks me out, the creatures out there, which is part of what you do is introduce people to the underworld of underwater
Well, I mean,
diving.
it's taking people out to interact with the animals they're afraid of and find out there's no reason to be afraid.
And because currently, I mean, they just had somebody else got bid off the coast of New Jersey, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And so, but what they don't tell you, and this, believe me, I came from the news media, so I can attest to this, that they don't tell you how many millions of people were at the beach the same day and did not get bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. If sharks were the thing they were made out to be in the movie 50 years ago, none of us would be doing what we're doing now, particularly me.
Well, but it's also made scuba diving and so many other things very, very popular. Is that people do love the thrill of being around these incredible animals.
Absolutely.
And then the more you learn about them, the more you learn that they're only reacting the way God intended them to react.
Yeah, and there's more and more research showing that sharks are sentient beings, that they're not just man eaters. They don't just swim around looking for something to eat. There's a lot more to them than that.
We've got some video here. I'm going to pull up this scene here.
Now, this is off the coast of South Africa. This is about 50 clicks off the Cape of Good Hope. We're in about 3,500 feet of water. We're about 35 feet deep, and this is a mako coming up from the deep, straight up.
And that didn't freak you out?
No. That was actually Randy Collins on that video. And if you notice, this guy has a constrictor around his neck. Apparently got caught in a net or something at some point in his life. And what it is we're in a circle around a bait ball. Now, that's me, and this is a blue shark.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that I'm poking at the shark with the camera, but if you look at the next few stills that are included with this video, what I'm doing is getting really close-up shots of his face. Again, here he comes back again.
Now, what is he doing? Is he just investigating you, coming up close to see who you are and what you're doing?
We've got a big can of crushed up tuna and stuff out there that's floating around. All those little white particles you see, that's bait. So he's looking for something that's a real bite to eat, and we're the largest things out there, so he's coming over to check and see if we're where the food is.
I think we've talked about this before, that when you're in the water and a shark comes up to you, if you take and just push down, is that what you do, push down on the nose?
Just reach out. The easiest way to do it is just reach out and touch him on the nose with about the same amount of pressure that you would do a weak handshake.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of a, hey, look, I'm here. And they immediately turn away and go look for where is this scent coming from, where's the bait, where is the food.
There's some starfish in this little clip.
This clip has got really, I included this one because it's so beautiful. If you've never seen sea lions or seals underwater, they're the most incredible animals in the world. You can see all this color. We're on a little island that's just has probably 500 or 600 of these animals on it. And we're just off of that. And just, you hang around, they come up to see what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. They're absolutely unbelievable. Doesn't look like they have bones.
No, it looks like they're having an absolute blast, and they this is their life every day.
Yeah.
And you can just tell they're having a blast down there.
Now, you do kind of look around because sharks eat these things.
You don't want to be confused for a seal.
You do spend some time spinning your head around when you're in this particular part of the world, but they're absolutely mesmerizing to watch.
And the water here is kind of murky, but you get into like the...
Oh, this is in the bay.
Okay.
The shark pictures, that was kind of murky because we were shooting down, but this is actually in the bay, so that's what the green tint is all about. The other was out in the open ocean.
And I noticed everybody's in wetsuits. Is the water cold?
It's about 62 degrees in the bay. Now, where we were out in the ocean... And you can see some of these stills, like these real close-ups of the shark's nose. You can slide it up a little bit.
Well, it's not letting it. There, try to take that.
There you go. Yeah, but there's a couple of pictures in that that really give you those close-up shots that I was doing when the shark was coming in close to the camera. You can find that on the Diventures page, or you can find it on my page.
But look at the size of that. I mean, it's over 6 feet.
That's a blue shark. He's probably about 6.5.
And then, of course, it is Shark Week International, and everybody's watching Jaws again. And it's almost like Kennedy's assassination, the explosion of the shuttle. Everybody knows where they saw Jaws for the first time.
Absolutely. Well, there's a whole lot. Shark Week generally runs about 3 hours a night. So you got 3 hours of programming, and a lot of it is ecological programming. It is educational about how sharks behave and what they look like. Like, these are the pictures that I was taking in that video.
Okay.
So the camera is 3 inches from the shark at this particular point.
That eye does not even look real.
They're amazing. They're amazing animals.
And then when you look at its mouth, it's in the strangest place. Its nose goes out way further than his mouth.
Blue sharks, their mouth is actually back past their eye.
Isn't that weird? And blue sharks are not considered dangerous?
Blue sharks are open ocean sharks, and in certain situations they've been known to be very dangerous. But as a rule, none of these things are hunting people. That's just, we're not in the food chain. If we were, we wouldn't be out in the water with them.
I guess if you were to compare them to humans, it's like we eat all kinds of stuff, but there are certain things we're just not interested in.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not really going to go in the backyard and try to eat a bunny rabbit. That's not, maybe if somebody were to clean it for you and put some gravy on it, that might change the program.
You don't want to be the one taking the bunny rabbit out.
Yeah, you're not going to be back there trying to bite it and chew it up.
There's a good shot of it.
Yeah, that's the mako.
Yeah,
and that one's about 8 feet long. And the makos will swim around the group, and then they'll suddenly disappear. And the next time you see them, they're coming straight up under somebody, just like you expect. So you look across the room or across the water, and you go, "Hey, Earle," and you point down. So all you do is you look down, and you see that behavior where they're coming up right underneath you. You just kick back a little bit, and as they come by, give them that little pet on the nose, and they'll swim off, and pretty soon they'll appear under somebody else. But so the blues just come and cruise the group.
So those are almost like those Japanese fighter planes where they would fly into the sun and circle around and come up from either up or straight down on you.
From the sun,
yeah,
where you couldn't see them. But yeah, they're very classic in that well-known shark attack pattern. But again, they're just not interested in us. We're not in the food chain.
Well, this is some more video.
Now, this is a white shark, and you notice nobody's in the water with them, and the bait is on the end of a rope. In the foreground there is a cage, and there are people in the cage. You just saw a little shot of that. But nobody's out free swimming with that guy.
I saw a video the other day of a guy in a cage with the tank on and his wetsuit. This huge white comes up and crashes through the top of the cage, and he goes in the cage and is trying to get out of the cage then. And you see some blood across the shark's chest. You're thinking, oh, man, this guy's gone. And the shark gets out and swims away. And they're all sitting there going, "Where is he? Where is he?"
Yeah, he went out the bottom.
He went out the bottom of the cage, and you see him probably. The guy had not a scratch on him. Yeah. I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal. But my question to him is, would you ever do that again? But I mean, I'd never seen a cage fail before. Did you?
He did it again.
He did.
Yeah, that was in Socorro, which is out in the Pacific off the coast of Mexico. So that was one of those things where they were out there, specifically out with the great whites when they come in seasonally and that kind of stuff. And nobody really knows exactly what happened. Something was broken. You got metal cages on boats, and they bounce around and things happen, and somehow or another that guy was able to get in that cage.
Well, he survived. It's almost like when I used to have an MGB sports car, and things would go wrong with that, and they go, "We ain't ever seen this before." That's the first time I'd ever happened.
Yeah.
Well, lucky me.
Yeah, that's right.
But the guy did survive. And you were motioning a minute ago, like the
universal sign for shark is to
dorsal fin.
Hold your hand up like a fin to your forehead and then point in whatever direction.
Yeah, everybody knows what that means. Yes,
everybody underwater knows what that means.
Either that or they're an Ole Miss fan.
And like this.
Yeah, hammerhead.
Yeah. So.
And then we've talked about when you go down where the whales come in, which you're going to go back to again this year.
Dominica next year, next summer. Yeah.
And tell them about that, because I think that's absolutely fascinating.
It is pretty amazing. We go out on the northern end of the island, and they basically put a hydrophone underwater and listen for the whales, and they're sperm whales. These are some of the biggest whales in the world. They can be 40, 50 feet long, and they dive, and then to feed, they go down deep, like 10,000 feet to eat. And then when they come back up, they rest up, they go to the surface, they catch a quick breath, they drop back down just a little bit, and then they come and rest on the surface for 3 to 5 minutes. And during the summertime, they're at the northern edge of this island, and so you got a pretty good chance of actually getting into some. We were in the pod that we were in was probably 60, 65 animals, and they were anywhere from little baby ones to the great big ones. And the baby ones can't dive, so there are like guards that hang out on the top with the baby ones. So they never leave them alone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really, really interesting thing. and it's a wonderful thing. We're going back, I think it's July of 26, with Justin Gregg and his group are heading out there. Staying at a beautiful place called the Fort Young Hotel. Fabulous place to stay. The diving there is incredible. And whales, sperm whales.
And I think
of all things,
everybody loves the idea of, it's interesting because there's a thing called a killer whale.
Yes.
And yet nobody's afraid of those.
It's
and they're
a mammal.
Way bigger than any shark you'll ever see. I saw some people in a boat. They were out photographing these whales, and they were swimming all around them, coming up and nuzzling the boat they were on. And, they can take you out anytime they want. But,
and there has been a few occurrences this year of killer whales attacking boats, which is really strange behavior, and nobody really knows what it's about. But it's happened several times this year off the coast of Spain, and then I think Northern California or Southern Canada on the West Coast. I'm not sure exactly where all this happened, but it's happened a couple of times in different oceans.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, too, is that it is so hot in so many places in the world right now, but there are cool places to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, the water's always going to be cooler. Like, for instance, if we were down in South Africa, the water in the bay is cold. It's in the southern hemisphere at the very bottom of it. It's not a short trip it is a short trip to Antarctica from down there. So the bay water's generally fairly cold. We were down there in winter, which is their summer, and the water temps were 62, 63 degrees inside. Now, when you got out in the big water, the Indian Ocean mixing with the Atlantic there, right on that edge, and that's where all the sharks and everything were hanging, where that water mixes, that was about 76 to 78. So a huge amount of temperature switch just getting out of the bay.
Well, I know that all these people are going to the lake now and to the beach, but the water's warm.
It's warmer than you'd like it to be. Yeah.
And some of the trips you have coming up are going to where?
Let's see what we got coming up. We're headed to Roatan here just in a couple of weeks. Over Elvis Week, as a matter of fact, we'll be in Roatan. Which is a great place to go. Water temps there.
Is that Honduras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mid-80s right now. Going into the fall, we got some other things that we're planning. We'll be headed down, probably go to the Bahamas for a couple of days, just a short weekend, sometime in October. And then we really don't have anything till we get into the first of next year. And then we start 2026. We've got Fiji, we've got Dominica. So far, Belize is in there, Cozumel is in there, so quite a few places going. But if you get out to diventures.com, you can go to travel and you can see over 300 trips planned between now and the end of 2007. All of our stores send professional travel people with the vacation so that you're on vacation,
Yeah.
Once you get there, you don't have to worry about anything. If your TV breaks, you call us. We bring our TV over and take yours.
You're not watching it anyway.
Take it to the desk and get them to fix it.
But that's a great thing about going with the dive shop and Diventures, that the people that are with you are staff, and they're there to help you with whatever problems come up.
They're your concierge for the entire trip.
Yeah.
For everything that goes on.
I wish I had one of those every trip I took.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Just driving around Memphis.
I know.
And the other big thing we've got this weekend is our luau.
Oh.
Okay, so we're cooking a whole pig. There's some pictures. Again, you can go to Diventures website, or you can go, that's the best place to go, Diventures Facebook page.
Okay.
The Memphis Facebook page. We're going to roast a whole pig. We're having a.
You bringing the big rig?
No, we're not bringing the big one this year. It's parked. So
I couldn't believe it. A couple of years ago, you brought it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a big rig. I thought it was like a box truck.
Yeah.
And it's a 50-foot trailer with you had a smoker in there. You got a full kitchen,
double sleeper,
sleeping quarters.
Tractor. We got all that stuff. But We're going to cook it on that, but we're going to bring it out on a regular big.
Yeah, because I would not even try to back that thing up into your parking lot.
Well, I've seen Hunter back that into some places. Well, down at Memphis and May, he backs it down a sidewalk for like 400 yards. And so, I mean, it's pretty amazing what he can do with that truck. But we're going to have a big party. The public's invited. It doesn't cost anything. We'll have cold drinks. We'll have great food. We're going to roast a whole pig. We'll have peas and yams and grilled corn and jerk chicken and all kinds of stuff. You can come in and see what scuba's all about, talk to our staff, find out about what we do. Anything swim, snorkeling, and scuba.
And
we'd love to have you come.
You have prizes. Chuck Baker actually won a wetsuit.
Absolutely, he did.
Which hundreds of wet things had to die to make his wetsuit.
Yeah, that was a really good one. But yeah, we'll have some prizes. You'll have the opportunity maybe to win some scuba lessons if you'd like to do that. Or just hang out with us and see what the sport's all about and where we're traveling and those kinds of things.
And meet the people, just talk to them because they love talking about it. It is an adventure, and it will change your life.
Absolutely.
And that is what it's really all about. It's actually the scuba diving and everything else is just a part of it.
Yeah.
It's the travel, it's the camaraderie, it's the food, it's the
fun
the
and adventure.
people you'll meet.
Yeah, come and do something you've never done. 65 years this coming February. The dive shop has been in Memphis, Tennessee, teaching people to swim, snorkel, and scuba, and then taking them places where they can enjoy the biggest adventure of their life. I mean, it's just incredible. Think about it. I've been here for nearly 40 years just doing this.
Yeah.
What an incredible thing. And then I get to come down here and talk with you at Lansky's.
Well, how long have we been doing this? Like 14 years. How long I've been doing it with radio and then now this. And as Alicia Dean just said, I'm a genius for thinking this up.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is you hit the ball out of the park on this one, and it's really a pleasure to be able and an honor to come down here and be a part of what you're doing.
Well, we love having you come, and you look great in that Lansky jacket.
Nice?
Yeah,
that's the other thing. I get to dress nice.
All my
guests. It's
not
not a funeral or a wedding.
No, all my guests look very, very sharp.
Don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, I'm wearing shorts, y'all. That's what the thing is.
Well, that's still sharp, and you do that in the Bahamas. People wear shorts and jackets out to dinner.
I'll have to get some of those garters for the tall socks. Wear my dress shoes when I come back.
Bermuda socks.
Yeah, get into the Bermuda look.
Tell them where the dive shop is for coming down there this weekend, and then the phone number.
Yeah, we're at 999 South Yates, just off Poplar, right at I-240 out on the east side of town. And you can reach us anytime on the phone at 901-763-DIVE.
I always want to say this too: dive, dive, dive. From my submarine movie days.
I like it. Yeah.
Randy Wright, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Always good seeing you.
Y'all come by and see us this weekend.
All right. That is our show for today. Thanks for stopping in with us, and we'll see you next time.